Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome to another Make It Monday. Thanks for joining me, whether you're watching me here live on Facebook or catching the replay, either here or on YouTube. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Nan Gerlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois, and I am here to help you connect with your people, whether that's gathering together to craft or you making handmade items to share with them. It's all about making and deepening those connections. So let's get to it. All right. First, a quick recap of Friday night stamping. That is where my husband and I each sit down and make a card on a Friday night. We post them on the Facebook page and on Instagram now, and you all vote for your favorite. And then Monday, I reveal who made the winner. And this week, this was my card, which was the winner. So we have the cool circles. We have the swag. This is the one we'll be making tonight. But I did want to point out that Russ used my sketch from last week's email newsletter and the color combo. So I really loved this quite a lot. I saw him with the circles and the strip of pumpkin, and I went, somebody's using a sketch. And he said, I'm using your color combo too. So see, these kinds of things are great jumping off points for inspiration. So good job. And the vote was very close this week as well, which we do love. Okay. So if you are watching live, hop on and say hi. I love to see who's joining me, and we can have some chats and whatnots. Hope everybody had a good Halloween last week. Day after Halloween, got out and got my candy corn at half off. So where are all my candy corn lovers there? I know, Penny, you love it. Good job, Penny. You recognize the color combo. Awesome. So I also had the craft show this past weekend, and it was a roaring success. So that was great. Very funny little story that I wanted to share with you. One of the women that stopped at our booth, she had this really pretty necklace on, and it was kind of this drop pendant. And so I complimented her, and she got up close and she said, "Oh, it's a handle from a spoon." And I was like, "Oh, that's so pretty." And it really, like, you couldn't necessarily tell it was a spoon handle. So it was just so pretty. And, we talked for a few minutes. She moved on. And then it was probably maybe an hour later, she comes rushing back to my booth. "Oh, hey, down that hallway, there's a man that's selling, spoon jewelry." So I took a walk over there at one of the slow periods, left Russ in charge of the booth, and I got this really cool necklace made from a fork. I absolutely loved it because it definitely does not look like a fork, and it's just so unusual, right? Like, I don't see a lot of necklaces like this. So that was my fun little find from the day. Otherwise, we had pretty steady traffic, so I didn't really get a chance to walk around too much. Right? I knew you'd love it, Penny. I'm like, yeah, this will be right up your alley. It was just so fun. So, yeah, I didn't get to really do a lot of shopping there, which is good because I was there to make money, right? So, that's probably good. The last hour was a little slow, but the rest of the day was pretty steady, not crazy busy, which was nice. I had a good booth location. We made some notes for next year and raring to go. So that was a good experience. Okay, let's get to our card. So let me see here. All right, I've got my little checklist up. So I do have alternatives to show you at the end. Really cool little sampling of these. But I'm using this cool swag from the Winterly Treetops. Absolutely love it. And I do love a metallic against like a dark background. So very cool. So we're going to do some embossing today. I pulled out the Christmas Friends stamp set just for this Happy Holidays. I think I told you I'd be using that a lot. So if you have another set with Happy Holidays or something like that, that will work. Whatever greeting you want. And then I pulled out the Unbounded Love dies for this little greeting label die there. This is a really great set of dies, by the way, for lots of good greetings. So, all right. Let us get started. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do both of my embossed pieces first. And very important thing that I often forget, so I really should have this, I need to have it front and center with my embossing stuff. This is our embossing buddy, and it takes the static and whatnot off of your cardstock before you stamp and pour your embossing powder. Wow, completely just went right out of my head there. So, but it is essential, because otherwise, if you have ever embossed in your life, you've probably had it where, especially on dark, like on black or navy blue or something, you've gone ahead and embossed it, and then you have all these little flecks all over the place of your embossing powder. And so that's what this does. So this is actually part of our embossing additions kit. It comes with a Powder Pals tray, and then these awesome tweezers that y'all know I love. And then this embossing buddy. So, but I do know that if you don't want the entire set, you can get these kind of embossing buddies, you know, at your regular craft stores and whatnot. So, yeah, if you just want that, it's not sold separately through Stampin' Up. So you'd need to seek elsewhere for that. So then we're going to use our Versamark pad, which I always laugh because it just looks so gunky, right? And a brand new Versamark pad is so pristine and white and pretty, and it lasts like one time and then it's done. But it doesn't affect the use of it. So we're going to grab our swag here. Actually, I want to center this a little better. So what I'm going to do, just like I do with my greetings, I'm going to use my grid here on my glass mat. And I just want to put the points of this swag at about the same, on the same line. Because that way I'll get it hanging pretty straight. Hanging, I say, right? Like it's going on a wall. Okay. So this block is a big block. I'm going to take my stamp pad to the stamp instead of trying to ink it up the other way. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to kind of get a center point. I'm trying to keep this on camera, and I'm also trying to look at my measurements way down at the bottom, way down there. So I've got a good center mark there. So I'm going to go up here and just put that berry pretty much at the center mark. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be very close. That's all I'm looking for right now. Okay, I'm going to take my copper embossing powder. This is our previous version of our embossing powder. So now we've got wow embossing powders, and they're even better. So these are good, and the new ones are even better. All right, we'll pop that back in the container. So now that I have the embossing powder on that Versamark, I can let that sit for a minute while I do my greeting as well, as long as I don't brush it or anything like that, because then it'll knock that powder right off. So you just need to be careful. If you'd rather, if you're not on camera while you're stamping, you can go ahead and emboss that one and then come back and do your other one, which is what I normally would do. But I want to do my little greeting. I'm not going to worry about how straight this is because I'm going to die cut this one. So I can make that straight then. So again, I went over this with my embossing buddy to take off the static and oils from your hands, all those kinds of things the embossing powders love to stick to. So you just want to be aware of that. And it's just like when you were in kindergarten and you'd put glue down and then put glitter all over it, except this doesn't stay around forever like glitter. So I did get some strays, but I think that's because I probably had some Versamark on the edge of my stamp. And I will tell you, very honest opinion, the powder tray that comes in the embossing additions kit, I'm not a huge fan of it because I feel like a sheet of paper or a square container like this, which I have a lot of my embossing powders in. I just feel like it works better. So, because you melt it. What are you, wait, I don't know what I said. Okay, so here we go. Here is the magic part. I love this part. So these look pretty dull right now. You can barely see this guy at all. We're gonna go ahead and turn our heat tool on. Oops, try not to shake you. And we're gonna give this whoosh. And there we go. The magic of embossing. I absolutely love heat embossing. It is melting the powder and it's bringing out that awesome metallic shine. And then we'll do our greeting as well. You just want to make sure everything is melted and smooth. Glitter, yes, you're melting the glitter. I have a funny, although Russ probably doesn't think it's funny, story to tell you about that. And that we used to sell this iridescent embossing powder. And I didn't think about this when I ordered it because, you know, we don't do glitter here, right? And I ordered it thinking, oh, that'll make things sparkle, but it'll be embossing, so it won't be all over. Well, there's basically glitter in that embossing powder. And so when it's dry, it's like glitter. And so Russ was not home when I first was messing with it. And then I realized what was going on, and I was frantically trying to clean everything up before he got home. I promised I would never do it again. I didn't know when I ordered it. I didn't think that through. So nowadays we just have Wink of Stella. That's how we get our pretty glittery, shiny stuff going. And regular heat embossing, which is nice and shiny anyway. Okay, so this little piece of designer paper is from the Nests of Winter set of designer paper. Super pretty. And I just thought that it looked kind of like, you know, Christmassy, wintry, right, theme. Okay, we've got that. What am I doing? Yes, it's time for fork bow. We love a fork bow, right? I got to tell you, I tied an awful lot of fork bows getting ready for my craft fair because I had made these ornaments and I wanted the bows to be on the top. So I went ahead and did fork bows so I knew they wouldn't come untied. Big, smart thing. Okay, so let me do this slowly in case you're new here or in case you've been scared to do it. This is your chance. So I am right-handed, so I want to work the ribbon with my right hand. So I hold the fork in my left. I come over from the right side, around, and then I go under the ribbon in that middle valley, you know, between the tines. Okay. And then you can kind of adjust it and make this as long as you want. Okay, so I went over, around the back, and then tucked it under. And then you want to hold the ribbon and the fork together. Take this other end and bring it up and through that tine as well. Turn it over and tie a knot. That's it. And then when you slip it off, boom, there you go. Perfect bow. And it's not going to come untied, which I love. And you can zhuzh it around a little bit. Kind of, you know, force it to your will. Again, it's nice because it's not going to come untied, so you can do a little bit more manhandling with it. Okay, grab my tear and tape because y'all know I love to attach ribbon with tear and tape. The other nice thing about doing the fork bow is I always leave the ribbon right on the spool when I'm doing it, and then I can cut it off wherever I want, and I don't waste ribbon thinking, you know, trying to overestimate, or worse, cut too short of a piece and not have a long enough one for whatever I'm working on. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that in place so it covers the seam where the DSP meets the cardstock. We're going to go right over that ribbon. And tear and tape is just a nice strong adhesive, so that where the ribbon is putting some extra stress on the cardstock when I put it together, it's going to hold it in place much better. And then once I've got that stuck down, I can go ahead and give it a cut, and I have wasted no ribbon. Love that. Okay, so then we can grab our preferred adhesive, whichever you want. And I'm just going to go top and bottom here. And then the tear and tape will hold those sides down nicely. Grab my, I think I told you last week, look who's been cricketing. She's got her crooked picker guy on the take your pick. That came in nice and handy. I cut some vinyl and put my new logo on my tablecloth for my craft show. And then I also put it on a t-shirt so that everybody knew where to find me, right? And if I was walking around, I was advertising my booth. And I didn't do much walking around except to go to the bathroom. Because luckily, I had the stamper man with me, and he ran in the cafeteria and got lunch and snacks, all sorts of things. All right, let's do a little stamp on this inside piece. And for that, I'll clean this one. I finally remembered, you guys, to put my my cleaners in the wash. Thank you so much, Penny. I really loved the way the tablecloth turned out. It was so inexpensive, and I just wanted a plain black one because I figured my products would be so colorful that black would be just a good backdrop for everything. And I think that I was right. So, but yeah, it really did turn out really well. So, all right, we're going to grab this little bud kind of guy. And I just grabbed there it is, a gray granite, or gris granite if you're speaking French. We actually, because I think I told you guys that Russ and I are learning French on Duolingo, and we turned any of the ink pads that had the French label on the back, we turned them around, so we have to find them using French now. It's a fun little challenge. I mean, luckily I kind of know the colors by sight, so it's not too hard. Okay, let's attach that guy in the middle, and we just have our greeting to do. So this particular card is just one of those great layouts. It's super simple, right? The most involved part of it is the heat embossing, I think. Well, I do have a special little fun thing at the end, the last, the final touch. But first, we're going to die cut that greeting out. So the other cards that I'm going to show you when we're done here also follow this same layout with a little twist. So platforms here. Oops. Looking a little clumsy on camera. Okay, so this is the nice thing about die cutting or punching out your greetings, is that you don't have to worry about stamping them straight. There they are. I'm like, I knew I had Post-it tape over here. Because you can just line it up straight in your die when you go to die cut it. Yeah, so Penny, I had a purple t-shirt that I also put that logo on, so because I happen to have had a blank purple t-shirt laying around. So when I already had cut out the vinyl for the tablecloth, I figured, well, I might as well just cut out the vinyl for a t-shirt too. All right, so we have our little happy holidays. We are, of course, going to put that on dimensionals, right? And you'll notice this is a very used sheet of dimensionals, so I'm going to use those edge pieces because, hey, they stick just like the middles. Don't waste them. I just want to make sure I get good coverage from top to bottom because it is going to go over the ribbon. So I want it to catch part of the cardstock as well. That'll help anchor everything. And the cool thing about this one I like too is that it's got these little notches. So I've just kind of got the ribbon going right by the notches. And then you'll see that it almost looks like the ribbons thread through that label. So, okay, last final touch is our metallic enamel effects. So these are super fun, and the cool thing about this that I love is like our embossing powders. We have two separate packs. So the one I'm using is out of the metallics pack, which comes with copper, gold, and silver. And these metallic enamel effects also come in copper, gold, and silver. How nice is that? So these are fun little things that it's just, you know, liquid metal, metallic kind of stuff. So I'm just going to squeeze these onto the little berries. And when you do it, you don't need a lot. And I keep it, so I squeeze it out and then I keep it kind of at the cardstock when I stop squeezing so that I don't have big peaks. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. You kind of swirl it like that, it'll break it off the nozzle there. So you can practice these. The other really cool thing is if you have a silicone sheet, you can actually drop a bunch of these dots on a silicone sheet and then just let it dry for, you know, I don't know, hour or two or overnight. And then you have these little metallic dots that you can attach to other projects. So you can make them ahead of time if you want, and then they'll be ready to go. They probably will not be sticky on the back, so you'd want to attach them with like a glue dot if you make them ahead of time. But voila. So these are going to be very wet right now. So let me show you that. I'm going to put this way to the side so I don't screw it up. Let me show you the one that's dry already. And you can see how those just pop up and give you that extra dimension. So the embossing is raised and then these are raised even more. The cool thing I love about this is there's, I don't know if it's gold or copper on the edge of this ribbon, but it really looks copper. So it just coordinates just gorgeously. Absolutely love it. Okay, so I promised you other samples. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. And the other samples, of course, make use of the silver and the gold in those sets. So these use the Country Woods designer paper. So here is Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight with some of that DSP and the silver embossing and enamel effects. I know those dots are so fun, aren't they? Absolutely love them. And then we have the gold, and I did this one on Cajun Craze with Early Espresso. And these two ribbons actually come in a combo pack, the silver and gold together, which I absolutely love as well. Perfect for the holidays, I might add. So no matter which way you're leaning, you've got something. So there you go. You have a perfect little trio of holiday cards. Super simple. This layout can be used over and over and over again with so many different sets for so many different occasions, so many different papers. Like literally. And I wanted to point out too that I've got that kind of triangle working. So I always tell you about the triangle for, embellishments and whatnot. So I've got the swag here in the middle, and then I've got the bow on this side, and then the greeting over here. So you've got that triangle working still. Good design elements. Thanks, Penny. Glad you like them. All right, I want to pop back up here because I just want to mention something exciting that's happening tomorrow. So tomorrow is November 5th, Tuesday, and we have 2 new kits being launched tomorrow, and we also have new online exclusives, one of which is the Color Coach. So, like I said, I expect this to sell out pretty quickly. It may not, who knows? I have no hard information on that. That's just, that's just my prediction. Like I said, when it was open, when it was available to demonstrators a month ago to pre-order, it sold out very quickly just to demonstrators. So I expect that customers are also going to want to grab those up. And demonstrators probably will too, because we could only buy one. So it's probably going to sell out pretty quickly. So I would definitely be ready to order tomorrow on the 5th. If it does sell out, don't despair. I'm sure they're going to restock. So if you don't see this video in time, don't worry. Just shoot me a message. I can let you know when it's back in if it's not already. So, all righty. That's all I have for you tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. If you got some inspiration or some tips out of this video, I'd love it if you'd share it so your friends and family could learn those things as well. Until next week, I'm still Nan Gerlitz. Happy stamping.